Is Pakistan's next move now terrifying Washington and Israel as it pushes a wider Islamic NATO plan? Could this new collective defense hammer change everything if more Muslim states join the Saudi-Turkey-Pakistan bloc? Pakistan wants more countries inside the alliance. But who is this emerging military bloc really preparing to face? Is the Pakistan-Saudi-Turkey pact now reaching beyond 3 capitals toward the entire Muslim world? Is a new Article 5-style alliance emerging in the Muslim world as Israel and America watch its next steps closely? Who is this emerging alliance really preparing to face, even as its own members insist the pact targets no one in particular? On August 10th, Pakistan called on more Muslim countries to join its newly formed Joint Defense Alliance, pushing to widen the bloc almost immediately. Defense Minister Khawaja Asif said the new security bloc should not remain an exclusive club, insisting its doors must stay open. Asif called on Muslim states to put their bilateral disputes aside and stand together on one unified platform. Khawaja Asif said, and I quote, "The doors really cannot be closed to other countries. This should not be an exclusive club. This is my personal opinion. It should expand. I think that, along the lines of NATO, Muslim countries should put their own differences aside, the transactional issues or bilateral disputes they have with one another, and stand together on this one platform." Unquote. This call follows Pakistan, Saudi Arabia and Turkey forming a new joint defense pact on August 7th, setting the stage for the wider push. The Mecca Agreement builds directly on an earlier Pakistan-Saudi defense deal that was signed last year. Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan compared the new pact directly to NATO's Article 5 commitment, describing it as technically similar. The Mecca Pact treats an armed attack on any one member as an attack against all 3, mirroring NATO's core defense principle. Asif's call for expansion follows an even sharper warning he directed at Israel's government just a day earlier. Pakistan's defense minister called Israel illegitimate and urged Muslim nations to unite, saying Israel posed a threat to the wider Muslim world. In a televised interview, Asif called for a united military front against Israel, a day after Pakistan signed the Mecca Defense Pact with Saudi Arabia and Turkey. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia and Turkey signed the joint Mecca Defense Agreement on August 7th, with the pact coming amid growing regional tensions involving Israel. Asif said all Muslim countries must unite against Israel, linking his call to the Palestinian issue and accusing Israel of maintaining a hostile approach toward Muslim nations. Asif said, and I quote, "Israel is a product of the Balfour Declaration, which was established in the 1940s as an illegitimate state. And it could pose a direct threat to any of the countries in the region. Their attitude towards the Palestinians and their anti-Islamic mindset will not disappear. They continue to incite Muslim countries against each other." Unquote. The minister said his opposition to Israel would not change even if Benjamin Netanyahu lost the election, suggesting Islamabad's position would remain unchanged. Asif said Israel's attitude toward the Palestinians would not change under Naftali Bennett or another leader, arguing that the issue goes beyond any single Israeli government. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi responded to the new Mecca Defense Agreement by calling for greater unity among Muslim nations. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Pakistan signed the defense pact in Mecca as regional tensions and security threats continue to rise. The agreement commits Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Pakistan to treating an armed attack against one member as an attack against all 3. Araghchi said Iran's armed forces demonstrated their readiness, military capability, and strength during the recent war. Abbas Araghchi said, and I quote, "Iran's powerful armed forces have shown their readiness, capability, and might in the face of the world's most expensive military. When Muslims stand together, we can face every challenge by malicious outsiders head-on. Time to rely only on ourselves and embrace true brotherhood." Unquote. Former Iranian spokesman Abdollah Ramazanzadeh separately urged Tehran to propose joining the newly signed Mecca Defense Agreement. Ramazanzadeh called for a broader regional security arrangement that would unite Muslim countries while excluding Israel from the proposed framework. Abdollah Ramazanzadeh said, and I quote, "Iran should propose its accession to the Mecca Agreement and welcome this agreement. Now is the time to propose a regional pact without Israel." Unquote. The competing proposals come as Saudi Arabia faces growing security threats from Iran-aligned groups across the region and seeks stronger defense partnerships. Saudi Arabia moved quickly to calm Iran after Tehran openly mocked Riyadh's brand new three-way defense pact. On August 7th, Saudi Arabia clarified that this new defense pact carries absolutely no nuclear or hidden military agenda. Saudi Deputy Foreign Minister Raid Krimli stressed that this agreement poses no threat to any single country in the region. This landmark pact was formally signed by Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Pakistan, aiming to jointly build stronger defense capabilities together. Krimli further clarified that the agreement was never designed to function as a military axis or any kind of sectarian bloc. These Saudi remarks came directly after Iranian MP Ibrahim Razoui sharply criticized this newly signed defense agreement. Ibrahim Razoui, a member of Iran's Parliamentary National Security and Foreign Policy Committee, reacted on August 7 after Saudi Arabia signed the new defense agreement with Turkey and Pakistan in Mecca. Razoui posted his response on X, directly criticizing the newly signed Mecca Joint Deterrence Agreement and warning Riyadh not to mistake new partners for guaranteed protection. Ibrahim Razoui said, and I quote, "Saudis must know that a paper agreement with Turkey and Pakistan will not bring them security. Just as years of one-sided nursing to the Americans did not bring them security. Reform your policies so that you do not need to beg for security from others." End quote. Iran's warning comes at a time of growing security concerns for Saudi Arabia, as conflict in the Gulf and Red Sea increases the risks facing the kingdom's cities, infrastructure, and energy export routes. Earlier in the regional conflict, Iran launched attacks against Saudi-linked targets using drones and missiles, presenting them as retaliation against states it accused of facilitating U.S. military operations. Tehran has argued that any country providing territory, facilities, or practical support for U.S. action against Iran could be treated as part of the confrontation and therefore exposed to retaliation. While Iran has not recently claimed direct strikes against Saudi Arabia, Yemen's Iran-aligned Houthi movement has continued attacks and threats against Saudi-linked vessels, ports, and oil infrastructure. The Houthis declared a naval blockade of Saudi Arabia after Saudi strikes on Houthi-held Yemen, saying Saudi-connected ships and vessels using Saudi Red Sea ports could be targeted. The Houthi blockade and wider Iran war have put Saudi oil export routes under major pressure, threatening to reduce flows through the Red Sea and creating new uncertainty for Riyadh's energy revenues and global markets. Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan signed a mutual defense agreement in Mecca on August 7, bringing their leaders together amid heightened regional turmoil and security concerns across the Gulf. The pact unites three major Sunni Muslim powers that each retain important, though very different, relationships with the United States, combining Saudi financial influence, Turkish military-industrial capacity, and Pakistan's armed forces. Notably, none of the three states maintains full diplomatic relations with Israel, creating a rare security grouping of U.S.-linked powers that remains politically separate from Washington's closest Middle Eastern partner. Turkey, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia signed the deal amid a widening Gulf crisis, with regional states facing attacks, threats, and growing uncertainty following the confrontation between Iran, the United States, and Israel.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.